in the second round.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome.
3 out of 4 teams in this quadrant of the bracket from the Big Ten. Big Ten got to be pretty confident in placing a member in the final
to the 2025 NCAA Women's Lacrosse first round. Michigan Wolverines versus Akron Zips. Women's College Lacrosse game. And we're live on the campus of the Northwestern University in Evanston, Illinois. The winner of this game will face against Northwestern Wildcats at 3 p.m. this Sunday.
It gets taken away by the Zips. Still time to pad some season stats for Akron. Get some nice memories to go home with.
Yes.
With a nice move in the midfield to create.
I'm sure they will practice tomorrow, and they will get ready for Sunday, like always and always. And
the draw circle at times, outside the draw circle a lot of the time, offensively, defensively.
That's something.
Excels in every category for this
We were talking to Elaine Jones about those veteran types of players too, because those are the players that were not recruited by Akron. Or by Elaine Jones at Akron, I should say. But they stuck with it with coaching changes, and now they're here in the tournament together as we have a timeout on the field.
Yeah, and if you're Elaine Jones, why not?
Yes, we do have a timeout on the field, yes.
Try to get yourself, one more real push towards scoring a goal or two. Get your seniors, and the rest of your team, but especially your seniors, some great memories to take home.
Yeah, time's still on the clock. There is still lacrosse to be played here this afternoon.
For Akron, some more of those seniors that have really been standouts. Antonia Trickett, another fifth-year player for this Akron team, who has spent all 5 seasons in Akron with the Zips. She's been a huge member of this Akron defense. Doesn't put up the numbers the same way those offensive players do, but led the second on the team this year in caused turnovers with 21, right behind Katie Balmer, who's another great two-way player. Balmer, just a junior. She'll have another season of eligibility, but Grace Ann Schwab, we saw her score a goal earlier today. She's a big part of this offense. Jalen Cleat-Scales, who we already mentioned. Hannah Sanders. It's been tough for her in goal today with the amount of shots that Michigan has put on frame, but she's had her moments of brilliance. Obviously, was so huge in the MAC tournament. 6 saves today. Those are the ones who play the huge roles. You've already mentioned Noelle Boyd. So Kylie Harris, Chloe Herrera. Haven't seen as much time. Brianne Harder, an important defender for this Akron team who's been forced into a lot of action today. Those are the seniors for this Zip squad. Still a lot of other contributors for this Akron team that are coming back, and that's the great thing for Coach Elaine Jones and this squad.
And while one team's season will end this afternoon, there you see team that's just licking their chops, waiting to get back out onto the field. They were even practicing 2 hours before this game started today.
Absolutely. Northwestern excited to get back out there against this Michigan team. A familiar opponent to be sure, and maybe not the opponent that they would have chosen as we talked about today, but a game that they're excited to play. I think Northwestern, look, Big Ten championships are Big Ten championships. They're never going to say no to hoisting that Big Ten tournament crown. But the way that those games went, especially the Maryland game, I don't think it left the best taste in their mouth. I think Northwestern is excited to get back out on the field and show the world why they are still a contender for the national championship.
And now I know we're way too far up the road to be thinking about this, but let's say Maryland moves on into the Elite Eight. Who are they looking to match up with? Who would they prefer to see? Because they had Northwestern on the ropes that last time out in the Big Ten championship.
Here it is.
I think Maryland beat Michigan.
It's the only ones that we
to play the team. Also, if they get Michigan, then it's not an away game for them. They don't have to go to Northwestern.
Yeah, that's probably the only ones, but they ain't have it.
Would be helpful.
Final 3 minutes in this one. Akron in control.
So the winner of this game will move on to the second round to face against Northwestern. Yep, this is it. Yep. It's on me. It's only a day.
Pressure there on defense. Megan Minter had the start today and was part of that stellar Michigan defensive group. There she is showing it off one-on-one, but committing the foul there. Hinchcliffe trying to find any room to whip a shot. She gets one off and it goes wide.
Yeah, that's
What an
probably the
angle
only
to
one that
even
we did
fire
not
from
play, too. So
That would have been very impressive to say the least. But
Tony having
love him
good.
just going for it. Look, the sky is the limit for her in particular. Only the 1 goal today, but 59 goals on the season, leading this team in goals, 14 assists to go along with it as just a sophomore. The future is so
Of
bright
all
for her
three.
in an Akron uniform. Going forward in the match, she is probably the best returning offensive player in the conference. She can do so much for this Akron team heading forward.
Under 2 to go in this one. Michigan can bring this one within the final minute. And more than likely will be content to just draw out this shot clock as much as possible.
So impressive for these Wolverines is the balance today. The balance of the offense, even just watching the play. The balance scoring between different offensive threats in this group. You see Jill Smith directing traffic. She wants the one-on-one here.
Here she goes. Drew 3 defenders and backed it out. Minute 20 to go as Dyer had trouble handling the ground ball. Boyd comes up with it.
Yeah, Jill Smith, that was her hat trick right there. She was going in for it. Akron said, "Oh, we don't think so." Sent those extra 2 defenders at her to make sure she had to get the ball out of her cross.
But she picks it off in the midfield, has a 1-on-2 heading towards the cage. And she'll draw it out. Michigan does not have to shoot if they don't want it.
That shows you who Jill Smith is. She's just not a stat chaser. You know, could she have gone for a low percentage shot there, tried for her hat trick? Absolutely. But that's not the kind of player that she is. She is a team-first player like that. You know, Coach Nielsen called her and Aaron O'Grady fire and ice in their leadership styles. O'Grady being the fire, more of that, like, stereotypical leader is what is the wording that Nielsen used. But both of their leadership equally important. We have seen Jill Smith's leadership on the offensive end today for Michigan, helping diversify the attack, helping get everybody involved, helping make this a romp for the Wolverines.
I think it also helps that O'Grady's a redhead.
Absolutely. She gets to be the fire part a little bit more naturally, as opposed to the blonde Smith, maybe a little bit closer to the ice.
Final 10 seconds, Michigan drawing it out.
And that will do it. And we want to skip by 11 points. And it's it. We're on our way to the second round. And our final score, 17-6. Go Michigan Wolverines. And for Akron Zips, ain't scored much at all.
Try to do it in upset fashion for the second consecutive year, but for Michigan, it really was an all-around win. Everything working for the Wolverines all day long.
They had their 2 leading goal scorers from the Wolverines. Both of them did not start in this matchup. Obviously, heavy offensive rotation, a lot of threats to go all around, but just shows the depth that Michigan has as we look at the bracket where things stand now. We knew what was at stake in this one. Michigan has a date with Northwestern Sunday afternoon. Penn and Maryland will face off with the right to play the winner of that one. What a region this is shaping up to be.
Yeah, Sunday is going to be a whole lot of fun for those tuned into this Evanston sectional, if you will. That's not, of course, what they call it, but still. Those 2 games are going to be excellent. First, Penn, Maryland in College Park, and then Northwestern Michigan in Evanston. Should be a blast.
A couple of heavyweights are going to throw down on that Mother's Day. Will certainly be one to remember. 5 goals from Callie Norris made the statement for the Michigan Wolverines, getting them all the way to the second round as they win this one by 11. On behalf of my broadcast partner, Noah Kaufman, and our incredible hardworking crew at ESPN+, my name's Eli Burke. Michigan wins it 17-6. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you Sunday.
We'll be right back. Well, actually, we'll see y'all back here this Sunday. See you then.